last session, we had a look at the consumers in the digital landscape. We also identified and had a discussion on how youth has emerged in the recent years as a very strong connecting point. And if you can connect with the youth and get your offering with the youth who is going to adopt it in a very early stages of their lives, then the overall probability of coming with a successful digital marketing activity can be ensured. We also see that there have been certain changes in the society, and these young people are not only endorsing the product, not only adopting the product and setting the trend, but they are also indulged in various youth empowerment movements. Like they provide a lot of volunteer services, social services, in terms of community building, in terms of transforming the communities, in terms of teaching or servicing in the remote areas of the country, in village schools, for instance. And all these efforts, they raise awareness about the importance of activism and also result into a positive social impact. At times, the youth considers all these things to be very cool, and this coolness about the whole idea of servicing the society or building up your community not only increases the awareness about these things, but also bring about a good positive social change. The second group that the digital marketeers can look at is women. We know that women are very different from men when it comes to the decision making process. In fact, the entire marketing literature is full with the differences that you find between men and women shoppers, men and women decision makers. Why this is happening? Because women is an emerging group, and that this emerging group is very distinct in terms of their information search, in terms of their information collection, in terms of their processing of information and then taking a final decision. Women do not act like men do when it comes to researching for their information. They do a lot of research. In fact, they go to an extreme extent in order to find exactly the perfect product that they want. They want everything and they want best of everything. So, because of the inherent differences that you find between men and women, they are going to indulge into a different kind of a behavior online. Women are expected to be conversing more. They converse and they interact more than men. So, because they naturally converse more, they are also expected to be conversing more about the brands that they come across in the digital marketing landscape. They are also holistic shoppers in the sense that they are looking at everything and they are looking at the broad perspective. They are looking at the utility of the product also. They are looking at the functionality of the product also. They are looking at value proposition also. They are looking at the referrals also, reviews also, opinions also. So, they are very active shoppers in the online space, and therefore they become the key to win the market share in the digital economy. Because of the fact that women pay attention to most of the information, and they are not only going to pay attention and assimilate all the information, but they are also going to summarize it for others. So, they experience more touch points, students, in their purchase journey, and they are exposed to many more factors, and they come across many more factors that they do take into consideration while zeroing down on their purchase decision. As I said, that they are holistic in the sense that they are going to look at multiple aspects of the product or the service before they determine the true value, and before they determine the fact and they decide whether to go for it or not. They are actually considering aspects which are very different and which are playing a very influencing role in their decision making journey. They browse for more brands. They are going to bring in more and more number of brands in their consideration set. sometimes they also work towards the less popular brands, or perhaps search for less popular brands, because they believe that these brands might have more value. And because of this, women are more confident, because of the time that they spend in this search behavior, in the this sharing behavior and conversing behavior, they end up becoming more and more confident about the choices that they make, and therefore they are more inclined to recommend it more strongly and emphatically to the community, to the group, and to the other people with whom they transact with in the digital place. The third promising group that is, or that should be tapped by the digital marketeers is netizens. Now, who are netizens? Students, they are the people who want to be involved in the development of the internet. They are not the passive recipients of anything that you post on the internet. They are the ones who at times create the content. They contribute to the content, like user generated content. They are going to not only create the content, but they are also going to share the content on the internet, right? Their life revolves around internet. They are very actively engaged in the whole process of posting something, creating conversation and content around the brands and around the offerings, or indulging into very active discussions about the brands. And in the process, they also connect very well socially with diverse group. They talk to one another. It can be people from their peer group, it can be people from their family, friends, relatives, a whole lot of social network. And therefore, students, you can imagine the kind and the strength, intensity of the information which flow, when they converse with each other, because they are very active on the net in terms of sharing the content. At times, there is a flip side also to everything. Every coin has two sides. You also find that these internet users can be very aggressive in terms of how they express their opinion about something over internet, in the online space. On the negative side, you find cyberbullies, you find trolls, negative reviews, some backlash, some criticism. On the positive side, these are the people who act and emerge as brand evangelists. They are the they are the saviors for the brands. They are the angels for the brands. Now, depending on how you use them and how they are posting in the content and how the entire conversation is moving around the content which they create and share, one can see and measure the effectiveness of this impact or this influence on others who are also following these netizens, or who are getting influenced by these netizens. Now, growing exponentially on the basis of emotional and mutual beneficial connections. They are emotionally related to each other. It is not rationality which is going to make you friends with somebody, or is not going to make you join a particular community every time because of the rational reason for which the community is being built up, but also because of some mutually satisfying relations, mutually satisfying relationships and emotions. The communities of netizens are the key to expand brands' heart share. So when you talk about certain things like brand love, you are able to do that more strongly with these netizens who grow and who expand and who are into the social connections because of the emotions which make them expand and grow and create content around the brand in a very, very positive manner at times. When you look at the segmentation, and as I in the beginning also told you that we are looking more at the communities and we are not looking at the segments here, we usually find that there are 2-3 groups of internet users. And one can look at the hierarchy also, but there are some presence of groups. One is people who are inactive. They are just the spectators. So you are going to log in, you are going to watch, read what is being posted online. There are people who join some forums, they are going to join the social media and expand their, Facebook or, any social networking presence. There are people who collect lot of information, maybe tag, other people's, and they are going to tag the other web pages and link the other pages, and they are going to feed, also a lot of content. There are people who act as critics, who post ratings and comments online and criticize, an aspect and have something different to talk about the offering. And then there are creators who are just there to create content. Whatever kind of content they create, they again go ahead and also publish and share that content. Amongst these groups, you would find that it is usually the collectors, the critics and the creators who best categorize the overall group of netizens. That is, they contribute actively, whether they are collecting the information and then, apprising you of it, they are giving you more information and talking about that. They are criticizing something and that acts as a, active spread of that information, or they are primarily generating the content and writing the content for you. These are the ones who are more actively engaged, and therefore they comprise of the netizen group. They do not just consume information on the internet, they also create, and in the process, in this active role that they fulfill, what they are doing in, they are influencing others who are related to them, to their desire to always be connected with others on the online platforms, and also with the desire to contribute more and more to these online platforms. We know that these online platforms, be it your Facebook or any social networking site or any sort of communities or any, web pages, you are connecting with many people. It is many to many network which is built on relationships. An internet community, you would find growing and growing with much greater proportion, exponentially as we say, and it emerges, becomes very strong form of your community connect and your community identification. So when it comes to communal word of mouth, okay, how things and information is spreading between the communities, across the groups that are present in the online space, netizens are the best amplifiers. A brand message is going to flow along the social connections only if it receives the netizen seal of approval. Only then they will act in a very active manner, and they are going to, spread it across their social connections. And as I said, that because these social connections are sometimes emotional in nature, it's the emotional one-on-one bond, and therefore you see the kind of advantage a digital marketer can garner, out of these brand messages which are flowing and which are, having their viral flow across the communities because of the connections that netizens are maintaining over the net. Having said that, we need to understand, students, how we can understand consumers' journey over the net. This is a traditional consumer funnel, which largely comprised of, earlier in the conventional media, one used to talk about awareness, interest, desire and action. We have added advocacy, as we see that when you move from traditional to the digital marketing space, advocacy becomes very important. So instead of only having AIDA, we have AIDAA, where advocacy also becomes a part of the consumer purchase funnel. Now, how this consumer purchase funnel works? You can divide this funnel into three parts. There is top of funnel, which is tofu. There is middle of the funnel, mofu, and then there is a bottom of funnel, bofu. So these acronyms, students, will help you to understand and have a very quick recall of what is a consumer funnel and how you can divide the consumer funnel. Now, when you are looking at the top of the funnel, what you are doing? You are identifying your target audience. You are also creating, developing the user persona. You are trying to have a profile of the consumer, what he is going to be like. You are going to create a user profile, and user persona, and then you are going to post content which is going to be compatible to that user persona. So, depending on what kind of user persona you have created, you are going to create the like content and you are going to post it. That is going to happen because that is something which is going to garner their attention first. In the middle of the funnel, you have to engage them. You have to know what is going to interest them, because your purpose is to make them interested in the brand. You have to build connections, you have to build the linkages, you have to encourage them to, desire the product. It is not only about knowing the brand or feeling interested, but you should also have a desire to own the brand, and that is something which is going to come in the middle of the funnel. So, you are going to present them with market solutions which will encourage this desire to own the product. And then comes the bottom of the funnel, where you are going to provide that further encouragement in terms of the push. You are going to offer them something, maybe some different deals, some different offerings, maybe connect with them in the ways which is going to make the entire digital offering more appealable to them, and therefore all this exercise is going to help you in converting them. So, what was the prospect in the beginning, now you will convert him as the user of your brand. But what is happening in case of the digital marketing space? You cannot replicate the entire thing as it is, students, in the digital marketing space. It is only that the digital marketing is different, that platform is different, the consumer is different, the way he is behaving is different, that you need a different framework. You need to understand a different funnel which is going to work in the digital marketing landscape, and this funnel is more driven by your growth marketing. This is the Pirates matrix, which again the acronym here is AAA, This is something which is going to give you an instant learning or what the Pirates matrix is, that you are able to not only sense the stage at which you are trying to connect with the consumer, but you also have in the digital marketing landscape, you also have the metrics, the measurement methods to tap the effectiveness and the growth of your transition in the digital marketing consumer funnel. What is that? There is awareness for sure. There is acquisition, because you try to acquire the consumer. There is activation, where the consumer is more actively involved. You are able to retain him, so there is retention. How all this is going to give you a greater share of wallet and is actually at the end of the day is going to give you revenue is the other metric. And then referrals, how you are going to recommend it and how you are going to refer the same thing to others. If you look at it more closely, you will find that all 6 matrix stages or all 6 stages of the consumer funnel in the digital marketing space can be measured through certain things. Like if you talk about awareness, you can have a track of how well you are making people aware, how well you are creating awareness through your digital marketing efforts through certain metrics, that is impressions, reach, how many people you are able to reach out to, how many people have visited your website, you can have a quantum number, how many pages per session have they gone through, and how many pages they have read which has added to their awareness. When it comes to acquisition, leads, how many lead generations have you got? What is your cost of acquisition, and is the cost of acquisition increasing or decreasing? What is your engagement rate? So, if the social engagement rate is pretty good, it means that yes, you are slowly and gradually adding more people to your base of consumers, of your digital consumers. Activation, how many people are now active? It is not about just going to the page and then reading some information and that is the end of the story. No, how many people signed up for that? How many product qualified leads did you generate, which is going to eventually initiate inquiry, is going to propel you towards the later stages of the consumer funnel. Retention. What is your consumer lifetime value? What is your retention rate? What is your churn rate? Are people just leaving it, or you are able to retain them with your brand? What is the revenue? What is actually the size that you are dealing with here? Not only the deal size, but also the recurring revenue that you are generating from them. So there say for example your subscribers, or there is a subscription model. So how that subscription is getting renewed and is able to give you recurring revenue. This also, your revenue, if it is growing, it also gives you a measurement of how many people are using your product and actually giving it a satisfied thumbs up. So it's also product usage and customer satisfaction that you are able to measure out of that. Referral. What are the reviews, and that too positive reviews? How many of them referred your business or referred your offerings to others? Again, as I said, that more number of reviews and more number of positive reviews is again going to connote that people are satisfied, because it's only the satisfied consumer who is going to refer your business and is going to refer your offering to others, or is going to write a positive review about it. So we are looking at a more enhanced value proposition through our digital marketing activity. We know students, be it your conventional marketing, your traditional marketing, or your digital marketing, the core of every activity, every marketing activity is to ascertain that consumers have a specific need, and you are there, you are looking to a solution to meet that need in the more promising, effective manner. You do this by your problem solution mapping, your problem and value mapping. If you recall, in your marketing management, you talk about need identification, and then how you can present a product, you can present an offering which will be able to solve that problem, or is able to provide you that need gratification more effectively in comparison to what the rival firms are doing or your competitors are doing. So this problem and value mapping is what is going to help the entrepreneurs, your marketeers, your businesses to launch new products, new offerings, and also will give them a signal to whereby they can test whether this product is likely to work, whether it is going to act as and emerge as a feasible solution. Is it, am I moving in the right direction, and is it seeming feasible enough for me to launch this particular product in the market in future? Now, when you talk about value for a customer, it could be anything. It could be tangible value, it can be intangible value, it can be a mix of both. Something which is going to act as an enhancement of the overall consumer experience. Now, while you are interacting, while you are presenting that product or service, when you are offering that in comparison to all the similar products which are available in the market, it should emerge as enhancing your overall consumer experience, or should be able to enhance the value proposition, or is able to deliver an enhanced value proposition to the user. There will only be a successful business transaction, students, when there is a right mapping. That is, you rightly present to a consumer what he or she is looking for, which is exactly going to solve his problem, is going to give him the value thing. When you look at the value proposition, or the value journey, you would find that there is always two sides. There is a buyer side and there is a seller side, or there is a marketer side and there is a consumer side. So you have buy and sell. Now, it is only when the sell side is able to identify the right kind of needs and is able to serve the consumers with the appropriate solution, appropriate kind of product and service, that there will be a right mapping and the consumer will feel satisfied. This is marketing all about. So, if you look at the more diagrammatic representation of an enhanced consumer value, as you see there are two sides. There is clearly a buy side and there is clearly a sell side. Buy side represents consumers. They can be online consumers in the digital marketing service scape or the product scape, and on the seller side you have got offering that you have to present to your consumer. Now, when you start with a value which can be identification of the problem, you are not exactly looking at the problem from the problem per se. It can be a need, and that need can be there, it can be latent, it can be it would come to the surface when you make use of right cues. So, it can be satiated need, it can be latent need, it can be the need which is there, which is inherently present but is not coming to the fore because the consumer is not, you have not done the right mapping, because of which you are not encouraging him or you are not letting him know that the need for the product or that service or that offering exists for him as well. Now, once you do this right problem value mapping, how the need is there or the need has to be generated or created, or you have to help the consumer in identifying that need for him, and you map it against the value that your product is going to fulfill in terms of meeting that need or satisfying that need in the utmost effective manner, you come across an opportunity. This is actually the marketing opportunity, isn't it? That you are trying to assess the market for the opportunities that lay ahead, and you can identify a segment which is ready to consume your product or service and is able to provide you with more sustainable, viable revenue mode. And therefore, we say this is what you are doing. A marketeer in the digital space is also scanning for the opportunities and how he can provide you a value proposition which will be exactly mapped with your problem or with your need set, so that you end up becoming more satisfied and your entire consumer journey becomes more satisfying in nature. I hope, students, after today's session you have got some clarity on who is an online consumer and how you can provide an enhanced value to your digital consumers through the digital marketing efforts. Thank you so much. We will come back with more content on digital marketing series in future. Thank you.